to me.
Hey, yo. Good afternoon. Welcome to the actual bracket stage of USC 2023. We've gotten into the round 32 proper after last night's play-in match that decided our last team to be in the bracket, which of course was Connecticut sweeping Alaska 5-0. And we are now back. Except, you know, we're getting Maryland is gone, which is kind of ironic, I guess, since it's literally the first match and nobody can be eliminated here. Maryland versus this year's iteration of Stateless, which I have to go look up where they're actually from because now I'm kind of curious. But while I'm doing that, in Maryland, of course, Batball, Monko, Kama, Minus, Kodama, and Costco Hot Dog. Some very familiar names on that team, of course. Batball, one of the up-and-coming stars of the American scene. Monko, a long-term star of the American scene, making his return to his home state after playing for SoCal and Washington in the intervening years. Kama minus Kodama, of course, stalwarts of the Maryland teams as well. So some pretty familiar names for their team this go-round. And on the other side, yeah, we've got Stateless, so you're gonna see, let's see, you're gonna see Zephyr Coe from New Hampshire. You're going to see Armada from Rhode Island. You're gonna see Tengi from Rhode Island as well. Fishy For You from New Hampshire. Desire Blue Sky from... I don't actually know where. What? Oh, Desire Blue Sky is from Mississippi. Sorry, I can't read, I guess. And the OG Baka, who is from Nebraska. So a pretty spread out Stateless roster this year. You know, it's a little bit of an unfortunate sort of state of events. I feel that as more states have teams year after year, the Stateless teams get progressively, unfortunately, kind of worse. Their available talent pool has just shrunk by quite a bit. You know, we've seen in the past Stateless teams getting like top 12, top 8. And as the years have gone on, it's unfortunately just kind of dropped off by nature of more states having their own teams. So I unfortunately don't feel that this year's team will be all that much different. I am open to being surprised, but not a lot of known names over on that side for this year's roster. So kind of just hoping for the best for these guys. Of course, Zephyr Co, a familiar face around the tournament scene, but the rest not quite as well known. And yes, this has been discussed last night, but for anybody that wasn't here for last night's stream, these are the 2020 graphics updated for 2023 because we had some technical difficulties putting together new graphics. We do have a new pre-match screen, courtesy of Chili Repair today, and he did update this to say 2023. But for this weekend, it's going to be fallback graphics and just kind of some older picks out of what we had available. And hopefully for next week, we'll be updated to 2023 matching graphics in, I believe, Laser Client as well. I am in the process of installing Windows 10 on my PC on a new solid-state drive, so dealing with that. Chili, of course, was, along with many of us, was sick for quite some time after Roundtable, so was not able to put together graphics. But hopefully in the next week, that will get rectified and we'll be good to go for round of 16 onward, and you won't be seeing stuff from 2020. Though that being said, the 2020 graphics were really good. So no complaints here. I like these graphics a lot, so I don't really completely mind. Yeah, I don't know. While we're getting to the warm up here, I can briefly explain. Like, basically, so Windows 7 is like just completely deprecated, right? You can't run anything laser related on Windows 7, which is not the end of the world, or wasn't the end of the world, because I could just use an old version. But it came to the point where that old version now cannot log in. So I can't log into Laser Client, which means I can't get chat if I'm streaming in Laser Client. And also, they changed the bracket.json formatting at some point in like 2022. It's been a while, but it's not compatible. They use a different version in the older version of the Laser Client as they do in the newer version of the Laser Client, which means it's basically impossible to send bracket updates back and forth to other streamers. And so for those reasons, I'm basically forced to update to Windows 10 in order to stream on Laser Client. And it's proven a little bit of a headache because I have multiple drives with stuff installed all over the place, and it's just not very well organized because you're not really meant to run multiple operating systems at the same time, but here we are. So I'm falling back to Windows 7, falling back to the fallback client, and we are just working with what we've got for this weekend. But this, I think, is going to be, as far as the match goes, I think it's going to be a fairly one-sided affair. With all due respect to the members of Stateless, I think the early pools being harder this year is going to work against them. I think Maryland is a pretty solid roster, and I don't really foresee this one working all that well in Stateless's favor unless they really show up today. Kind of how early rounds go for relatively higher seeded teams. You know, you just anticipate the team that's seeded, what is Maryland, like 8th or something? No, Maryland is the 6th seed. Wow, they're higher than that. Yeah, you just expect the 6th seed to have a pretty straightforward time of things. Very interesting way that USC has gone this year. I feel the teams at the top have gotten weaker, relatively speaking, compared to last year. So there doesn't seem to be like the dominating forces, but the teams in the middle have gotten a lot better. So anywhere from like 1 through, I don't know, 12 to 16, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be competing for many of those spots. Teams at the bottom, unfortunately, I think have actually gotten somewhat weaker, along the same lines of Stateless getting weaker. The teams at the bottom, like if you are just finding warm bodies to put on a roster that aren't necessarily tourney players, but you want to be able to say, hey, our state had a team in USC, you're kind of just going to end up with players that aren't as good. And that's, I think, where we're going to find ourselves with some of the bottom end teams this year. But as I said, open to being pleasantly surprised by what people are capable of. And we're going to go here to this match. Maryland choosing first pick. And we'll also have first ban, because people don't want first ban very badly. Tab is closed. Okay, this tab is fine. I can close that tab, no big deal. Sad thing about Costco is that I don't have one within like an hour of where I live. The nearest Costco to me is in the Lansing area, which is about an hour west of where I live. or in Auburn Hills, which is about an hour south of where I live. They're roughly equidistant, I think. So it's a really unfortunate state of affairs. We do have a very good Sam's Club though, which is, you know, like great value Costco, right? I mean, it's not quite as good, but it's pretty solid. I mean, I think Sam's Club is good. I don't know. It's no Costco, but it's not bad. Anyway, it's going to be Hard Rock 1 banned out by Maryland. That was the first pick, actually, yesterday. That was the first match we saw in the entire tournament. So goodbye to whatever map that is, because the person doesn't have the maps visible. There we go. Grain of Sand first. There we go, that fighting game map. DT2 banned out by Stateless, so that is Magic People. I honestly have not seen these maps enough times to have them all firmly lodged in my brain as of yet, but we'll get there, I promise. And it's going to be DT3 first pick coming from Maryland. So it's going to be Thieves Night Trick, the high BPM DT selection. Swing Rhythm, 327 BPM Swing Rhythm first pick of the tournament for them. This is kind of a banger. And it's going to be where Maryland starts off. Well, it's interesting, you know, the situations where it's the very beginning of the tournament and there's a team with a bunch of established players and a team with a bunch of kind of lesser known players. Hard to predict how any given skill set's going to go, and in a really somewhat unique pool like this, I think it makes it even more interesting because I really don't know what to expect out of teams on a pool that's very, very non-standard. That, you know, doing away with slot pooling does away with a lot of the analysis you would normally do of, oh, this team is good at Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1, DT1. Oh, this team is good at Nomad 2, Nomad 5, DT2, DT3. In favor of a much more wide spread of skill sets. So I will be interested to see how that plays out in terms of results as well. Teams asked to play some maps that maybe they're not used to playing, just by virtue of there not being kind of the raw mechanics tests in this pool like you normally see in most tournaments. But we are going to get underway. Map number 1 of this match. Thieves Night Trick. Batball Comma minus playing for the 6th seeded Maryland against Zephyr Code's Desire, Blue Sky, and Fishy for you from the 27th seeded Stateless roster. And we'll get to find out, you know, kind of what their comfort level looks like on somewhat awkward high BPM Swing Rhythm DT to start things off. Not the easiest thing to look at first thing in the match. And hopefully my computer does not decide to take a large amount of lag into this match. Yes, that is exactly what I was going to say that entire time. And that is a double break. Probably Bancho misses on Desire, Blue Sky, and Fishy for you. Those are buzz sliders. No, those... Okay, Zephyrco missing as well. I don't know if any of those are real misses or if those were Pancho, because those were all sliders, but it looks like none of their combos coming back, so that's going to answer that. And that's going to be big lead Maryland. Triple FC still intact, immediately up literally 400,000 points and growing. Only a third of the way through, that score lead just zoomed. Zephyrco not having a great time on this map as he continues to break, and all three of their players are at 90% or below ACK. Meanwhile, Maryland at 98 on all three. This could get really ugly, folks. And that's another triple reset for Stateless while Maryland holds on to all three full combos. Oh, dear me. This is like going to be triple score territory, if not more. Aye. It's a tough spot to be in, being on a Stateless team that is not what Stateless used to be. A shadow of the former glory of Stateless that really could compete with everyone. We have to change that Nightbot command about Stateless because it used to say is competitive as any other team. And unfortunately, I just don't know if that's really the case anymore. There was this point in the signups of this tournament where I was actually thinking that we might not have enough signups remaining for a Stateless team. But there were a couple more that came in from states, and so it ended up becoming a reality, but there was a brief moment where I saw a world where there were literally like 3 members left that weren't on existing state teams. And this is a triple full combo for Maryland to open up the match. And this is going to be one of the most one-sided scorelines I think I have ever seen. Dear me. Oh, dear me. That's a triple FC 3.4 million to a sub 1 million team score for Stateless. I think that's the most one-sided map I have quite literally ever seen. I think. I don't know if I've ever seen anything to that level. That's unfortunate. Well, it's only one map. It was their first pick. You knew they were going to do well on it. And Stateless, still alive for another few maps at least. They're going to opt into Hard Rock 2, so we're going to get Chirality. I think that's what we decided this was supposed to be pronounced as last night. There's a nice little Camellia CS 6.5 pick. Relatively straightforward, other than small circles, I guess. So we had the discussion, as I'm being asked about this, we had the discussion about the pronunciation of this title last night between me and Dada and then like people in chat. And I think we came up with it being like a hard K sound. We did some research into the background, and it also kind of makes more sense because it's like, comes from the word chiral. So, chirality. There's probably people out there who... Chivalry with an R. Chivalry. Yeah, no. That's not working. But yeah, we decided that it was chirality. Like Cobra Kai. Watched Breaking Bad, you would know. I have seen Breaking Bad, and I don't remember that being discussed, to be honest. So, I don't know, I guess L me. Chirality kind of seems to fit, Greek roots being what they are. Anywho, that is kind of neither here nor there. Get it? Kind of. I'll see myself out. Comma minus Costco hot dog. Zephyco Armada. There's a city in Michigan that people call Armada, but obviously, you know, the Spanish Armada. So, like, you know, pick your fighter. Fishy for you, the third for Stateless. Early break for him. CS 6.5 is always an interesting one when we talk about lower teams. We discussed this last night as well. I feel that lower seeded teams often have a lot of trouble with Hard Rock in general, and especially small circles, unless it's something they really specialize in, which I feel that typically they don't. Early breaks from Zephyco and Fishy for you seem to prove the point there just a little bit, possibly. Still triple FC for Maryland in the early goings. There goes Combo, though. They drop one combo, but Armada and Fishy for you both finding breaks as well. So it is Costco Hot Dog and Minus with no trouble hanging on to this big lead against Zephyco, the only combo on Stateless at 250. And I fear that this may just be the way this match goes. It is a tragic sort of situation that we may be finding ourselves in. Still, third of the map to go. It's only 500k, right? Anything is possible, theoretically. In an infinite number of universes, there's at least one where Stateless wins this point. There go Kama, Costco, Hot Dog, Armada, and Fishy for you. Minus still just gaming. This turns out quite good at Osu. And this is going to be another pretty one-sided map. It is not going to be anywhere near as bad as the last one, though, so, you know, Stateless can take a little solace in that. But it will be an FC for Minus to bring it on home, and it's going to be a 1,000,000-point win, just shy of a 1,000,000-point win there for Maryland. It's 2-0 lead breakpoint to them. But Stateless manages to avoid losing it by 1,000,000 points, so they're making progress. They are making progress, and sometimes that's all you can ask for. Small victories, you know. Go from a 3,000,000 point deficit to well, 2.5 million point deficit to a 1 million point deficit. All right, free mod 1, our first sighting of any free mod at all. There were no free mods picked in the first match, so this will be our first free mod of the tournament. Hooray! Will Stetson lag train. Enjoy slider aim. And, you know, one of Will Stetson's better covers, in my opinion. This is a very, very good one. I don't know. I like this version of this song. I generally speaking, like, I think Will does a good job. I don't know. It's just 3 air 9.5, so relatively balanced in terms of free mod. Obviously, the slider aim may make it difficult if you're not good at sliders on one of the other mods, but I don't think there's anything too bad about this. 2 unique mod requirement, so probably gonna see 1 HD, 1 HR per team. Maybe an HD HR if somebody wants to be spicy. Maybe an over mod if somebody wants to be really spicy. But I feel with the style of pooling we're expecting in this tournament, we're not gonna see a whole lot of over modding because they're just gonna be just difficult maps to over mod. But as we load in here, we're going to find out what those mod choices ended up being, as we have Kama, Kodama, Batball, Zephyrco, Desire Blue Sky, and Armada. And it is going to be an overmod for Maryland. They've got a hidden hard rock, and a hidden. Stateless with the lone hard rock on Zephyrco and the hidden only on Desire Blue Sky, with Armada rocking out the Nomad, the only Nomad player in the lobby. We'll see how that pans out for Team Stateless. They've got... well, they've got a lot of work to do based on the way the first couple of maps went if they want to make this match interesting. And yeah, straight line sliders all over the place and some like minor spacing, little one like kind of ulti patterns, I guess. This is mostly gonna be about the sliders. But I don't know. I'm really good at missing on the kind of low spacing triple patterns like this has and like those double patterns for some reason. So maybe somebody out there is also not great at those, so I can feel less bad about myself. Double FC for Kama and Batball through the intro. Armada, the FC for Stateless, as Zephyrco and Desire Blue Sky both breaking. Kodama early missed in the first 100 combo, but has recovered since then. You will always be able to and always need to build up combo in the verses here. If you don't, you're gonna have a really bad time. They are quite simple and straightforward. And then the key eyes will go off a little bit more. And Zephyrco gets slow slidered. He is not pleased about that. Oh, buddy. That was really unfortunate to see. And there goes Desire Blue Sky again, as well as Kodama. Still double FC on Maryland. Looking pretty comfortable, Arkama and Batball in their mods. Maybe a little trickier on Hard Rock, but Batball is going pretty straightforward FC mode on the hidden. Armada still holding the lone FC for Stateless, doing quite well over there. The bright spot on Nomad, but unfortunately Zephyrco and Desire Blue Sky leaving a little something to be desired for Stateless's combo and attempts to make this a closer map than the previous ones. It is 350k. And the lead will just continue to grow. You've got a double FC against a single FC and 2 not great scorers. Zephyrco just now cresting the 100k mark. But nice lag, thank you. That was cool. And, alright, so still a third of the map to go. This one's pretty long. I feel the question will just come down to whether or not Maryland is going to get another 1,000,000-point plus win. There's a break from Batball. That looked like a little over-aim. So maybe the 1,000,000-point dream not going to happen this time. It's going to be all down to Kama and Kodama now. Armada still doing quite well for himself. Very impressive performance considering how the first couple maps went for Stateless as a whole. To have anybody putting up an FC this late into a map looks a lot better than the first couple of picks did. But still 600,000 points in favor of Maryland. So at the end of the day, it's kind of irrelevant, unfortunately. But it will, you know, make him feel good for sure. I always like putting up a solid score. And we're going to come down toward the final few moments of the map. And 600k the lead for Maryland. Looks like Stateless is going to be breaking the 1,000,000-point loss plus streak at only 2, unless the ending goes really poorly for them. This ending is very difficult, though. Bit of a diff spike as the sliders get even trickier and longer and more difficult to aim. There goes Efco and Desire Blue Sky, all of Maryland holding through. Armada still holding for himself, doing quite well. Very impressed by what he's been able to put up on this map. There goes Batball for a second time. Kama Kodama still holding, and they both break on the same note. All right, our lone FC in this map now is Armada, bringing it into the ending. Don't know that I had that on my bingo card, but well done to him if he doesn't break at the very end. I think that's an FC, and well done for him. Final margin of victory does end up being nearly 700k, but again, Stateless continuing to chip away. Kama with the S rank, breaking 100 combo from the end, and Kodama and Batball on nearly identical combos, and with it, nearly identical scores. Maryland 3-0, consolidate the break point. Next pick will go to Stateless, but they've got a mountain in front of them. 3-0 down, and none of the points were close, so see what they can do. See what they can do to maybe try to put a point on the board here. So let's find out. What shall the next pick be for Team Stateless? Stateless. It's going to be Hidden Numero Uno as the selection. So we're going Acid Burst, Waz Extra, a little more kind of streaming tech. Streaming light tech hidden? This pool feels like it has a lot of tech in it, but I suppose that's what happens when you just kind of don't have mechanics maps. I wonder why Stateless thinks they win Hidden. I don't know that they necessarily think they win Hidden. I don't know if it's like, yeah, I really think that this match is just Stateless picking like what they either have good scores on or what they're vibing to, because you know, you don't come into this matchup expecting to win if you're Stateless against Maryland, right? You're just coming out to have a good time. Like, I mean, it sounds harsh, but I think that's just the reality of the situation. You're 27 versus 6, like nobody's planning on you to win that match. A lot of people are probably not expecting you to make that match even competitive, so it's like, hey, just go out and do your best with what you've got. And so we go to Hidden 1. We go kind of light streamy tech. Like, I don't know, just have fun with it. It's a good song. It's a cool map. And whatever the other team does is whatever the other team does. You just put up the score that you can and don't worry about it. Which is really funny coming from me, who I was a notoriously bad loser my entire athletic life when I was a tennis player, golfer, soccer player, but I have recognized these sorts of things now as I have in my old age. But it's going to be a lot of breaks in the early goings. Batball, the only one still holding. He has gotten so good, man. Batball was like kind of a revelation to me in the last, I guess, year. Like he showed up on their team last year, and I was like, who is this guy? He's got a kind of funny name. Is he a baseball person? What's going on there? And now he just has like randomly become one of the best, like, question mark, 4-digit tournament players out there. I don't remember his rank offhand. I think that's right. Is he 3-digit now? I don't remember. I apologize. I don't remember what rank he is. Anyway, this one is just another one that Maryland is going to win quite easily. Sorry for not talking about the map. It was just never close. It's going to be a very, very good FC here from Batball, though. Brings home, maybe 1 or 2 100s on the hidden FC there. At 200s. That's a very solid score from Mr. Batball and a, 800,000 point win for Team Maryland. 4-0. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of the more one-sided sorts of affairs you're going to see, unfortunately. And Nomad 3 as the pick match point up for Maryland. They are going to opt into Lunatic Rough Party. Very short map. Ryusei Aika set Taku Diff. Nice little hey guys, it's Nomad 4 in Nomad 3. All right, in we are going to go. I have no background. Huh, that's interesting. I don't know where the background went. So, Combat Batball minus Zephyrco, Armada, and Fishy4U. Stateless making their last stand here. Don't know what kind of odds they have of winning a map like this, but you never know, as they already have had 2 breaks in the early going. Zephyrco and Fishy4U missing. Armada once again holding on. Might just be their best player. Couple breaks from minus on the Maryland side, but Kama and Batball are still holding on to the full combos. Armada is making this actually kind of interesting. 1 FC against 2, though, and there goes that 1 FC as well. Stateless, it was nice knowing you in the winner's bracket. We'll see you in loser's bracket next week, I guess. Yeah, this was, well, in the words of Red Eye from the Frankfurt Major in Dota 2, brutal, savage, wrecked. And once again, it's just going to be seeing whether or not Batball can bring home another FC. Because that guy is very good at technological mapping. Yep, it's a single FC. It's bat ball. He's bringing it on home for Maryland, and they sweep 5-0 in about 20 minutes since warmups ended. That was, I don't know. I don't know that I've maybe ever seen a match quite that one-sided, and I've seen a lot of matches in my time. But bat ball is really good, played really well, put up. Oh God, let's see. What are the match costs going to be? I know Shadooz is going to be like, ew, don't use those match costs. They're bad. Well, that's a 2.25 in OSU Plus match costs. Let's see. Go. That's a 2.78 for bat ball in Bathbot, which is ludicrously inflated, but still pretty impressive contextually, regardless. And so that is going to be our first team on into round of 16 next week. It is Maryland 5-0 over Stateless, sending Stateless down to losers bracket. Maryland will get the winner of New York versus Alabama. Some East Coast on East Coast violence there, potentially. Maryland versus New York. That would be a pretty cool early round matchup to see. I think we have to get through to the round of 16 before we really start seeing many good matchups, because there are a lot of, unfortunately, somewhat weaker lower-seeded teams. We do have some mid-seeds that are very strong this year. I think Kansas versus Georgia should be a good matchup, for instance. But yeah, by and large, unfortunately, I think round of 32 we're going to see a decent number of matches going something like this. So just hoping for the best of the lower-seeded teams and wishing them the best of luck, you know, in the losers bracket should they fall to that spot. But that is going to do it for this one. Congratulations, Maryland, 5-0 quick sweep over Team Stateless. Onward into the round of 16 they go. Stateless drops down. And we're going to see you guys later on. We have a pretty sizable later block tonight. It's literally 1 UTC straight through 5 UTC. 5 matches back to back to back to back to back to back. Is that 6? I don't even know anymore. So don't miss out. We've got Virginia, Connecticut coming up, 1 UTC, Ohio, Oregon, Arizona, Colorado, SoCal, Nevada, and Carolina, Wisconsin. So that's going to be a big late night block. We're going to have a bunch of different people commentating, streaming, and everything for those. Make sure you are there. And until then, have a great afternoon, great evening, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. Peace out.